on a day when the Supreme Court has asked, can we constitutionally reconcile with the idea that women cannot be allowed into the sanctum sanctorum of temples, the Shankaracharya of the Dwarka Sharda Peeth comes up with a shocker. He says that women entering the Shani temple in Maharashtra will result in more rapes taking place against women. Tonight we debate faith versus emancipation. Are the Shankaracharya's views on women entering temples deeply sexist and utterly out of sync with a modern India?
महिलाओं ने जो शनि का भी दर्शन किया और बड़ी विजय मना रही हैं, डंका पीट रही हैं। शनि की दृष्टि और महिलाओं में पड़ेगी तो जो रेप की घटनाएं हो रही हैं और बढ़ेंगी, जबकि उनको प्रयत्न करना चाहिए था कि महिलाओं के साथ जो अत्याचार लोग नशा करके कर रहे हैं, तो नशे को नष्ट करने के लिए उनको उपाय करना चाहिए था। शनि की पूजा करने से कौन सा स्त्रियों के साथ अत्याचार बंद होगा, कौन सा उनका उत्कर्ष होगा?
All right, deeply controversial remarks over there. A lot of people would say these are utterly regressive. But the issue of women being allowed to enter all temples in this country is a sensitive issue. And it also needs to be mentioned that this is not about temples. It's also about mosques and dargahs. It's also about other places of worship. It's not about one religion versus the other. A lot of what we see in our country is deeply sexist, irrespective of whatever religion may exist, may be in question. Joining us now for his views on this particular episode, Rakesh Sinha of the RSS. Thank you, sir, very much for being with us. Shaina NC of the BJP. Kavita Shivpuri is a member of the Bhumata Brigade, which has fought for the rights of women to enter that Shani temple in Maharashtra. And Lakshmi Nalapat, a member of the former royal family of Travancore, remains with us. Professor Sinha, let me come to you first. Does it help any cause for a respected senior religious leader who commands the support and the affections of lakhs of people to make remarks like that?
I think any theological discourse or religious remark should not hurt a larger section of the people. We can hit but don't hurt. I think such statements saying that this should increase the rapes and other incidents, I think this is not correct and it should be condemned. Rather, I say that Hinduism is a very progressive religion. We accept progressive reforms. We go by the compatibility with the modernity and science. This is the basic tenets of Hinduism. So, we can't go against the basic tenets of Hinduism. Hinduism has survived at all the odds because we always negotiate with the modernity. We always negotiate with the scientific innovations. That is the features of Hinduism. I think the statement of Shankaracharya ji, with all respect to him, he is a religious leader, but this statement is not going with the basic fundamental features of Hinduism.
But then let me ask you this. In fact, let me put that question to you, ma'am. What the Supreme Court has said today, as far as the entry of women into temples is concerned, can we constitutionally reconcile with the idea that women cannot be allowed in the sanctum sanctorum? Can women be denied permission, for example, to climb Mount Everest? Can tradition override the constitution? With views as strong as this is from the Supreme Court today in connection with the Sabarimala case, and you know what has happened with the High Court case as far as the Shani temple is concerned. Are there clear indicators that the time for sexism when it comes to the entry of women into temples is decisively over?
Let me put it this way. Now, I know that I'm in a minority. The beauty of Hinduism is its differences. It's very nuanced. Of course, women should be allowed into every temple, bar a few where the tradition is there. Not because women are bad or women are impure or whatever it is. No, because now what is happening is that unfortunately Hinduism, or for that matter, or any religion, is becoming very regimented. If you are a Hindu, you do blah blah blah. I don't want to go into all those kind of things. Okay. Now that somehow, according to me, loses its flavor, loses its multiplicity. And as for this statement for this gentleman, I do not want to call him a religious leader. It is horrendous. I would challenge anybody to, I mean, of course we have free speech, but isn't that inciting men into rape?
Well, that could be one interpretation. It is a deeply regressive statement. A lot of people would say that. But ma'am, what you say, in the case of the Sabarimala temple, it is the argument being made is that it is because women are considered quote unquote impure because of their reproductive age, that when they are not allowed to actually enter the temple, that the Sabarimala Trust believes that women shouldn't enter. So it has to do with that bizarre impurity debate.
Let me just correct you.
That doesn't make sense, does it?
Just let me correct you. In all temples in Kerala, a menstruating woman is not allowed to enter the sanctum, I mean to enter the temple
because
for
they
7
are
days.
unclean, because they are impure. These are the words which are being used.
That is vested interest, okay? And the second thing is that menstruating women were not allowed into Sabarimala because earlier, I am talking about way back 40-50 years ago, the journey to Sabarimala was hellish. It was not.
But this is 2016 now.
Yes.
So
yes.
therefore, when you talk about diversity and different temples having different traditions, shouldn't we get rid of traditions like this?
Well, yes, but then not if it is an issue, not if it's.
But it is an issue. It's an issue to a lot of women. Let me go across to Kavita Shivpuri, a member of the Bhumata Brigade. Kavita, you've been listening to this entire argument, which is being made that look, some temples have specific traditions, and therefore these traditions have to be respected. Women should not be allowed in some temples; they are allowed in a large number of temples. How do you respond to this?
देखिए, महिलाओं के अधिकार के लिए जो लड़ाई शुरू की थी उसमें जीत हुई है, और ये जीत देख करके बहुत से पुरुष जो महिलाओं को दुय्यम दर्जे में रखना चाहते थे वो बौखलाए हुए हैं। और मैं किसी का नाम नहीं लेना चाहती, ये बौखलाहट है। जो इस तरह की बयानबाजी कोई भी करे तो ये एक प्रकार की अपनी बौखलाहट दिखाते हैं। और ऐसे ही पुरुष लोग जो ऐसी मानसिकता के पुरुष होते हैं वो स्त्रियों को एकदम दबा कुचला रखने में ही अपने आप में प्रसन्नता महसूस करते हैं। तो ये बहुत ही शोचनीय है। और रही बात हमारे शंकराचार्य जी की, तो वो हमारे जगत गुरु हैं, उनको तो बहुत अच्छी अच्छी बातें महिलाओं के लिए बोलनी चाहिए। महिलाओं को अपेक्षा है उनसे अच्छे शब्दों की। उन्होंने रेप की बात कर दी। रेप मुझे नहीं समझ में आया कि ये दर्शन और रेप ये चीज क्या है, ये कहां से उन्होंने तारतम्य जोड़ा है। मुझे तो बहुत इस बात की चिंता, मुझे उनकी सेहत की चिंता हो रही है।
कविता जी
और मैं कुछ नहीं कहना चाहती।
कविता जी, आप एक चीज बताइए। कविता जी, कुछ दिन पहले आपको वो हाईकोर्ट आदेश के आपके पास हाईकोर्ट आदेश था, फिर भी आपको शनि टेम्पल में एंट्री मना किया गया था। काफी विलेजर्स थे वहां, आप लोगों को एंटर करने मना कर रहे थे। अब आप वहां एंटर कर सकते हैं। इस वक्त वहां क्या हो रहा है? इस वक्त क्या एटीट्यूड है लोगों का? क्या एटीट्यूड है? आपका फ्रीडम ऑफ एंट्री है, आप सैंक्टम सैंक्टरों में जा सकते हैं। आप
जी हाँ, आप जा सकते हैं, और फ्रीडम ऑफ एंट्री है। और महिलाएं बहुत खुश हैं। बहुत सारे फोन आते रहते हैं कि आप लोगों को बहुत धन्यवाद, आपने हमारे महिलाओं के अधिकार के लिए जो लड़ाई लड़ी है उसमें आपने हम लोगों को आजादी दिलाई है। एक तरह से ये महिलाओं को एक प्रकार की ये उनका अधिकार दिलाने की जो लड़ाई थी, इसमें महिलाओं को मंदिर के अंदर जाने की जो उनको आजादी मिली है उसके लिए बहुत सारी महिलाएं खुश हैं। रही बात कि बहुत सारे पुरुष नाराज हैं, तो ये तो कहीं खुशी कहीं गम तो लगा ही रहता है।
Okay, let me just come across to you now. As far as what she was mentioning about some temples having a certain tradition, again, traditions need to change, culture changes over a period of time. Where do you stand as far as the access of women is concerned in temples like Sabarimala?
I think women should have equal right. There is no question of depriving them from any religious right. And I just wish to say that Hindus are very rational in this regard. I would quote one instance. When there was a question of widow marriage, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar started a campaign and he got merely 936 signatures. He was opposed by Radhakant Dev. He got 36,987 signatures. But ultimately Hindu society accepted Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar who got 936 signatures. So I think that Hindu society eventually goes to the modernity with reforms, and original our religion, Hinduism, has no any, these things are added in over the years. So I think reform should be accepted and should be welcomed, and tradition, and whenever we have a negotiation with the modernity, certain resistances are quite natural. This is not unnatural.
Okay, Shaina had a point to make. Shaina, sorry, go ahead.
I just want to make a limited point. One is that when you have a religious leader, godman, or even it could be a political leader, making a statement to suggest that if you worship a particular god or you go into a particular temple, rapes will increase. I want to ask just a logical question. Does that suggest that rapes did not exist prior to women entering temples? So this is an absolutely bizarre, illogical statement which needs to be condemned in totality. I think this fight about gender equality and against gender discrimination is not limited to women. In 2016, we expect, and it's so heartening when men have been standing up for this equality which has been given in the Constitution itself. So I think that a constitutional provision that gives for men and women, and you have the courts upholding that decision, this is not limited to Hinduism. This must transcend to Islam, Christianity, all other religious leaders and other thought processes and ideology, because unless and until we show collectively outrage when there is a regressive statement, it will continue to suggest that mindset. Today we heard another bizarre statement in the day where there was a suggestion that if you worship Sai Baba, there will be drought in the state of Maharashtra. Now, how absolutely unfortunate and illogical is this statement? We need to ensure that if somebody is trying to make this kind of commentary for sensationalism, it must be condemned. At the same time, I do concede that you have 400-year-old rituals which have, met with a lot of resistance because there is a thought process and a mindset. But in that thought process and mindset, if we are going to constantly target women and suggest that, she's impure, she's going to be raped, or this is in her interest, please don't be the stakeholders of our future when you have a constitutional provision to say that there must be no discrimination in all places of worship. And I don't think we must limit this argument just to Hinduism.
No, in fact, I wanted to ask you about that, and I wanted to get,
barriers.
Shaina, your views on the Haji Ali case in Mumbai. On the 9th of February, the Bombay High Court actually reserved its verdict. But in June 2012, entry of women into the sanctum sanctorum of the Haji Ali Dargah, something which has existed forever in Mumbai, was stopped. It was stopped suddenly. And I think the point that I'm trying to raise is that, look, this is not a Hindu sort of issue. It's about every single faith in our country. There is something or the other deeply regressive when it comes to women and their entry.
Yes, you are absolutely right in your assessment, and I hope that women at large, irrespective of community, will definitely unanimously decide that whether it's even a Haji Ali Dargah or a church, or for that matter a synagogue, why shouldn't it be that it's the same parameters? And why do we need to sensationalize a debate when it is only to do with Hinduism? I think it's imperative also that when you have a seer who can influence lakhs of devotees in this particular case, you have others who can influence crores. They must be speaking a kind of tone to suggest that yes, when it comes to places of worship, men and women are at par.
Okay.
If they don't, and if they deflect from this core debate by suggesting that rape will increase and keep women safe and secure, and we are thinking of them, and if you go to Sai Baba there will be drought, it needs to be condemned in totality, from political leaders to religious leaders to society and the common man as well.
Vishnu, I appreciate that at least you have raised the question that this issue is not confined to Hinduism only. It is also concerned to Islam and Christianity. And I would like to quote Acharya J.B. Kriplani, who was a socialist leader. When Nehru government brought the Hindu Code Bill in Parliament, he said in Lok Sabha discussion, it is not the Hindu Mahasabhaites who are communal. It is also Nehruvian state is communal, because you are making a law for a particular community. Why not the Muslims? Why not Christians? That time he demanded that uniform civil code should be applicable. So I think that this debate should not be confined only temples. And this is good that there should be reform. We are responsible for our own reform.
Absolutely,
but this should go to the Islam and Christianity, because this is a question of gender equality, women's emancipation, and their women's right. It is not concerned to a particular religion. I think judiciary and the state both should take stern action against those people who are just nurturing the orthodoxy.
Right. Well, perhaps the time of nurturing this orthodoxy is over. The Supreme Court's remarks both today and earlier on in April with regard to the Sabarimala case seem to point to a particular direction and a line of thinking. There has already been a very important High Court judgment which has taken place, and perhaps now access to religious institutions for women, irrespective of their religion, is going to take place sooner than later. I'd like to thank all of you very much for joining us. We need to take a short break. More coming up.